What if the most powerful part of yourself is the part you've spent your entire life hiding? Dusk gathers like a held breath. She stands at a crossroads where the asphalt glows with afterlight. One road lit by the manners she mastered, the other trailing off into a hush the world never taught her to trust. City Boca pulses in the distance, a far-off constellation of expectations. Somewhere, a raven feather skates the wind, and the night seems to lean in to listen. She knows the first road well. It starts wherever be good begins. Be nice, be a comfort. Sand down your edges until you fit the room. She learned to brighten her smile on command, to translate her brilliance into politeness, to bend her voice around other people's comfort. 1,000 practiced nods, 1,000 swallowed sparks. She wore them like a uniform stitched from apologies. But tonight the wind catches the hem of her coat and makes a small flag of it. The air tastes faintly of iron, storm-tinged like a promise cut on the tongue. The city hums behind her, content when women are pleasant, agreeable, accommodating, endlessly available. She listens, and under that comfortable hum, she hears another frequency, ancient, insistent, unnamed. Beneath the practiced grin, a current moves, older than reputation, older than good behavior. A dark river in the psyche that remembers storms and stars. It flickers in the corner of her eye like candlelight about to gutter, then steadies. It is the truth she bit back, the hunger she rationed, the instinct she exiled to keep the peace. It has been patient. It has not forgotten her name. The dark feminine is not malevolent. It is simply ungovernable by the usual currencies: approval, permission, applause. It does not bargain for belonging. It will not trade its vision for the safety of being liked. It is intelligent the way weather is intelligent. It senses pressure, tracks patterns, and moves where truth requires. When it rises, it is not chaos. It is calibration. She feels keys in her pocket, a small ring of choices she forgot were hers, cool metal turning against her palm. What happens when the mask refuses to fit? Who benefits from your forgetfulness? She hovers a hand over a door handle that isn't there and realizes the threshold is not a building, it's a boundary. The lock was never on the world, it was on her voice. She takes one step toward the unmarked path. The air grows cooler, more honest. In that temperature change, names surface: anger, instinct, appetite, vision, rising like constellations she once knew by heart. Her compass, long asleep beneath good manners, pivots of its own accord and points inward. What if your silence has been the tax you pay to belong? She does not run, she does not perform. She allows the river to surface, steady, tidal, absolute, and feels how it meets the shore of her bones without apology. The city hum dims to a velvet hush. Somewhere, a single candle steadies and refuses to blow out. A door inside swings on a silent hinge. Her breath lengthens. Her eyes adjust to the dark. Tonight, we descend into the hidden chambers of the feminine psyche. People have long feared feminine power because it does not batter, it saturates. It moves like tide and nightfall, dissolving, reshaping, refusing to be owned. Empires name it danger when they cannot direct its reign. When a woman keeps her own center of gravity, the world calls her storm, an unscheduled eclipse troubling calendars built on her compliance. Lilith arrives as a boundary of night itself, the woman who would not lie beneath the script. Culture could not integrate her refusal, so it named her chaos and mistook integrity for threat. Medusa's gaze does not petrify innocence, it interrupts predation. The snakes are instincts braided into intelligence, living sensors reading intent. To avoid asking why being seen felt dangerous, they made her a monster. Morgana is knowledge that will not serve a throne. Craft, healing, and movement across borders. When female expertise escaped the licenses of kings, it was recast as sorcery to protect monopolies of power. Before that, priestesses and queens held veils, seasons, lineage, and law. As conquest swelled, rituals with feminine mystery at the center were silenced. The oracle's voice became dangerous, then delusional, then gone. What cannot be bought is painted profane. What will not be controlled is called monstrous. Projection becomes policy, and masks replace faces. Psychology names the exile, the shadow, our storehouse of disowned qualities. It is not only darkness, but unlived light compressed into night. Societies train women to banish anger as hysterical, ambition as unfeminine, sexuality as dangerous, intuition as irrational, independence as cold. Banished, they return as numbness, people-pleasing, secret resentment, compulsive caretaking, a fog in the bones. Picture her, praised for kindness, waking each morning with a locked jaw from biting down on unspoken no's. Every time she smiles past her limit, the shadow drops another stone in her pockets. The river still roars beneath, but she calls its thunder anxiety because she has forgotten it is her own voice. And here is the deeper terror in the presence of a sovereign woman. Sovereignty confronts us with our disowned agency. Before someone who will not trade truth for acceptance, our bargains with smallness shake. The fear is not that she is too much, it is that we have been not enough of ourselves. What a culture calls monstrous often marks the power it covets and cannot control. The dark feminine is not an enemy camp, but a map. Back to the chamber where the house of self keeps its original fire. Open the door. There is a woman in you who says no, not to wound, but to be true. Her refusal is a compass, not a cage, a quiet key turning back to her center. Boundaries are thresholds, not walls. Sacred architecture where she decides what may enter the temple of her life and what must wait outside. A talented designer sits in a glass-walled boardroom. They offer her a visionary opportunity, payment in exposure. Her heart drums. She slides the contract back and says, "No." The room stiffens, faces recalibrate, flattery scrambles into leverage. Yet her no is clean, neither spike nor apology. Social economies built on her compliance quake, because the covert contract that attention equals love has just expired. A clean no is not aggression. It is alignment. It points, like a compass, to the center that chooses, and invites the world to meet her there. There is a woman in you who sees everything. Intuition reads the ocean beneath a smile, the storm behind a sentence. A friend says, "I'm fine," wrapped in a pause too long. Eyes flick to the door. The room cools half a degree. The body registers microdata. Mirror neurons echo their strain. Attachment histories pulse through timing, tone, breath. Vision is not intrusion. It is protection, an ethics of noticing that refuses to gaslight the nervous system. True seeing ends self-betrayal. There is a woman in you who desires. Desire is not a weakness. It is a river pointing toward expansion. At midnight, a mother sketches dresses she once buried. Her daughter wakes, finds the pages. Who made these? Electricity meets grief. She breathes. In that question, she hears permission. Longing was never selfish. It is generative. Shame taught her to want smaller to stay chosen. Now she names the difference between hunger for validation and desire as the soul's orientation. And her calendar, friendships, and risks begin to reorganize around aliveness. There is a woman in you who walks away. Detachment is reverence for life, not coldness. She leaves in clarity, not fury. Why do departures threaten? Old abandonments awaken, reputations rattle, control withers when someone answers to an inner authority. Non-attachment does not flee intimacy, it refuses captivity, and so she goes. The smell of scarcity lifts. Where she withholds chasing, magnetism arrives. Boundaries, vision, desire, detachment. Four currents meeting in one still center that neither begs nor hides. Where she walks, her future can finally find her. Attraction is a quiet gravity, felt before it's seen. Our nervous systems read coherence and congruence, asking, is her center leased out, or does she live there? Magnetism rises from self-possession. When you stop outsourcing your worth to other eyes, your breath evens, posture softens without collapse, and your gaze stops seeking permission and begins to witness. We read each other with fascia and breath as much as eyes and ears. Hunger repels, enoughness invites. Reliability feels like gravity, no hook, no bait, just truth that doesn't wobble. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The unconscious is not a dungeon, more a night sky of unregistered signals. Old bargains, unlived gifts, inherited grief. When met, they integrate. The dark feminine steadies the center. She stops auditioning for approval and emanates the quiet proof she can survive misunderstanding. Rooms feel different when she enters because she is not advertising vacancy. She owns her no without punishment and her yes without pleading. Others feel safer near her. She refuses to manipulate, even when afraid. That reliability reads as gravity. Magnetism is not a spell. It is the relief of meeting someone whose inner world is not for sale. And the paradox, the less she chases, the more life arranges itself around her orientation. The current she once hid becomes the river that carries her, and those who can swim move closer, not lured, but recognizing their equal across the water. Morning finds her at the small kitchen table, steam lifting from the mug like a quiet hymn. Awakening is not manipulation. It is sovereignty, warm, steady, close to the bone. She turns her phone face down when midnight messages arrive, the leash unclipped. By the window, a long exhale smooths the surface of her decision before she speaks. Boundaries in her life become warm hands around a flame, protection so the fire can live. She writes a letter she will never send to the girl who stayed quiet to be kept. "I am sorry," she writes, "for all the apologies that walked ahead of your sentences." Emotional mastery, she learns, is a riverbank, not a dam, feeling fully without drowning, choosing cleanly without tremble. Authenticity returns like native posture. Self-respect becomes an inner architecture, rafters and beams that hold while she experiments with truth. The alignment is less lightning, more tied, in how she orders coffee, answers a call, or stops mid-story when she notices her body shrinking and rises back to her full height. She says yes without strain. She says no without noise. Integration gathers her life into coherence, and the room itself seems to breathe with her. You have walked with me through the night's long corridors, past doors that once rattled with old names, past mirrors that returned borrowed faces. And here, at Blue Hour, we arrived together with a calm heart. What you feared was never a monster. It was a keeper of thresholds, a steady hand at the hinge. In the hush between breaths, you can hear it. Not a growl, but a vow. Not a threat, but a promise to protect what is true in you. We were taught to dim, to soften, to make ourselves easy to carry. But the soul cannot live forever in borrowed rooms. It leaves breadcrumbs, shivers of intuition, a prickle of sight in the dark, a door you pass every day that suddenly opens an inch. The guardian waits there, unblinking, patient as tide. She is not here to frighten you. She is here to return you to yourself, whole and unsold. Listen, the water knows. Under moon's last silver, the surface holds a map. Every boundary you name etches a shoreline. Every truth you claim becomes a lighthouse. You do not have to thrash for approval. You do not have to starve for what answers to your presence. Stand at the edge and let the undertow return what was cast away. What remains is yours. A door opens, not to a throne room, but to a balcony at first light. The city exhales. The sky remembers its color. You step out without apology, and the air recognizes you. This is magnetism without noise. This is desire without shame. Your boundaries make the morning clear. Your vision threads meaning from the quiet. Your detachment lets the right things stay. Breathe. Feel the spine of softness. Feel the steadiness of love that includes you. What once was shadow becomes shelter. What once was exile becomes home. You no longer negotiate with guilt. You do not chase. You emanate. The day meets you as an equal. The dark feminine was never your enemy. She was the guardian at the gate of your freedom. And perhaps the woman you are becoming has been waiting for her all along. Which aspect of the dark feminine lives strongest within you? If this spoke to your blood and your breath, share your story below, and gently comment, like, and subscribe to Cosmo Aura, so we can keep descending together into the light once called dark.